Who's got something? Daniel Wilson.
Hey, CJ. First off, I just wanted to ask and get your perspective on the rehabilitation process from the injury last year, especially considering tail end of that was excuse me, tail end came during the pandemic and the reacclimation to playing again.
Uh-oh. CJ, you there?
Time. It wasn't say easier, but it was a lot smoother than when the first time it happened.
I think we might have missed some of that, CJ. All I got was the last sentence. Was that, or did you just say one sentence?
No, said a few things.
How about repeat it because we missed it?
I was just saying how I felt it was a lot easier from the first time when I tore it my freshman year because I knew what I was doing the second time during the process, so I had a plan on how to get back faster with everything I needed to do the second time around.
Jonas Pope, you have something?
I do. This question is, well, CJ's the only one here, so yeah, for CJ. You said you knew what you were doing the second time around, but was it still just as hard to get past mentally because, it was your first play of the game that last year? Was it still a mental hurdle to get past this whole process again the second time?
I think mentally it was just staying positive, knowing that I wasn't going to be able to play that season. And it wasn't much of a mental hurdle because I felt like if I could do it the first time, I could do it again the second time. So it's more of just staying positive myself, not getting down on myself during times where I knew I wanted to be out there on Saturdays, but I couldn't. So I really had to just support my teammates through the time. And then on myself, just being back, just rehabbing, make sure when I'm ready to play that I did everything I did possible to help the team out when my time comes.
Are you under any restrictions, or are you doing like full practice, full drills with everyone else at this point?
Yeah, I'm fully clear. I'm back.
Corey Smith, what you got?
CJ, this one's also for you. As we saw from the limited clips yesterday, it clearly didn't look like you had any restrictions at all. I mean, how good did it feel to finally get back out there and finally, be able to do the things that you can do as a wide receiver?
It's a great feeling, I really sat out for a whole year, and just to be able to get back out on the grass with my teammates, it just felt like a kid in a candy shop, just being able to run around, play football again. It was a great feeling.
And how much do you still have the relationships that you built from last year with the quarterbacks, but in particular with Devin Leary? You didn't get a chance to play with him during the season last year, but how much have you tried to build that relationship with him based off of what you guys were able to do in spring and summer last year?
Just this offseason, just getting with him throwing on the weekend, just to get our timing right before camp started, because I wasn't able to play with him last year. So it was just getting the timing right on the weekends this offseason really helped us out day one and day two of camp so far.
Thank you.
Andrew Schnicker, what you got?
This question could be for either of you. Have you guys followed what's been going on with things in the Pac-12 and Big Ten with the student athletes forming unity groups with certain things that they're around the ACC have discussed?
I think we have our own group me, and we talk about things like the issues that's going on right now. But for us,
All right, can y'all hear CJ?
He was muted for most of that.
you can hear me?
Yeah, there we go. All right, you answer, and then Alim, you're on here, so you can answer after CJ.
I was just saying how as of right now we have a group me, so we discuss all the issues that if anybody has, they can just come into the group me and just talk about it. But for right now, we're all in this together, and nobody talked about opting out or anything, so we're just all ready to play.
Alim and Bam, do y'all want to answer that one?
Yeah. And to piggyback off of what CJ was saying, yeah, nobody's spoken out about, like opting out or anything like that. We feel like we have a lot to prove with ourselves and our team. So we don't really see that as an option right now. We just want to put the work in and grind and, do everything the protocols and whatnot tell us to do for COVID and stuff so we can play a season. Because all of us want to play. There's no opting out. It's not really an option right now. We're not thinking about that. So,
Zonovan, you want to answer?
I didn't hear the question. I just joined in.
The question was if you guys had been following what's been going on with the Big Ten and Pac-12, kind of the student athletes forming their unity groups with some of the things that they're asking of the league, and if that's something that you guys or your peers around the ACC have discussed.
Oh, yeah, like we all, like they said, like the group meet situation, we all been like kind of communicating and stuff like that. But like Alim said, nobody is like kind of chose to opt out of the season. I know a lot of people are eager to play, so everybody's pretty much been hands down wanting to get back on the field. So that's what everybody's been working to do.
Justin Williams, you have a question?
Had to unmute myself, excuse me. This one's for Alim. Bruce Feldman named you to his Freaks list this preseason. Just your thoughts on that honor going into this season and being another NC State defensive lineman to be named to that list?
It's very honorable. I definitely greatly accept it. A lot of work has been put in and whatnot. So it's just another stepping stool for me, honestly. I like to have it in my back pocket. I don't really think about it much. I don't try to brag with it or nothing. But it was pretty cool for me to be able to see myself on that list. So
JB Ricks, you have anything for these guys?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Thanks, guys, for taking out this time. This question is for any of the players, who wants to take this. Coach Doran spoke to us yesterday about how you guys, he's having to temper your guys' energy level right now. And you just spoke on how nobody has opted out of the season and everybody is locked in on playing this year. What is the chemistry level like for you guys when it comes to that right now? Everybody being on the same page as far as what the goals are to play this season, the player alliance and all that or whatever. Like how cohesive is the unit with you guys right now as far as the goals you guys have for playing this fall?
CJ, you want to take that one?
I think it's like Alim said, everybody's eager to play. We all get after each other. We talk a little smack here and there. But the unit, we're all one unit. We just out there competing, just trying to get each other better, getting ready for the season, and it's just great competition right now.
Zonovan, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, like offensively, just these past 2 days, we've just been outside working together. I feel like the chemistry offensively has been great. I can't speak for the defense because I'm not working with them, but offensively, I think with Coach Beck, the way he came in and just kind of took control and took the time to get to know everyone and kind of build unity between the offense, like O-line, receivers, running back, quarterback. I think that has helped us get that edge, and that's why we have so much chemistry and we've been so dominant these past couple of days.
Jonas, you have another question?
I do. This question is for all the guys, really. Anybody can jump in here first. Yesterday, Coach Doran kind of talked about being the social sacrifice, like once students return on campus and guys having to kind of police themselves and make sure they aren't around big groups and not go to parties and things like that. It's a big roster. It's 120 some guys. But how do you police everyone and make sure they are responsible and not not around the student body too much and risk the chance of getting affected and spread it amongst the team.
Alim, you want to start with that?
Yeah, I'll start with that. Kind of like what CJ touched on the group me. We kind of make sure we hone in on guys like not doing stuff that's not smart, that can hinder us from having a season. Nobody really wants to be that guy, you know, to possibly catch someone or spread it or something like that. Nobody wants to be that guy. And we know we want to play a season. We'd much rather play football than do anything else, to be honest. I know guys want to have fun, and it'll be tough, I guess. Guys want to have fun and go out and do all this and that. But if we want to play a season, you know, and make a name for ourselves at NC State, we just got to do what's smart and keep our head in line. So,
Zonovan, you want to answer?
Yeah, kind of like what Alim said. You know, you kind of want to. We're just gonna have to use the group me and try to enforce it the hardest we can. You know, by the end of the day, it's up to the players because we can only hold them accountable so much. So that ultimately is going to come down to the individual player making that sacrifice.
You have anything to add, CJ?
No, they pretty much hit everything on the nail.
Corey, you got one more?
Yeah, so this is for both CJ and Zonovan. What is one of the biggest differences that you guys have seen from fall camp last year of Devin Leary compared to fall camp this year of Devin Leary, from not just the talent standpoint, but from leading this offense as well?
Why don't you start, CJ?
I think he's definitely more confident in his game and his leadership. You know, he's taking a step where he knows he has to lead the offense, and we don't go without him. So he has to make the right calls. He has to communicate with everybody. He has to make sure everybody knows what they're doing. And he just sits down with us after practice, and we go over routes and stuff and say, you did this wrong. You need to do this better. He's just communicating a lot more better than he has in the past.
Zonovan?
Yeah, exactly what CJ said. You could definitely tell he's more confident this year. Like last year, you could kind of tell he was stressing over trying to prove himself to the coaches, and this year it's more natural. Like you could tell the difference that confidence makes on people in a matter of a year.
Thanks.
Joe Mazer, you have something for these guys?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, guys, what it's like when you hear the news about UConn canceling their season this morning, and your conference games have already been, or your non-conference games taken away, and the conference schedule all changing. Like, is it just like you don't know what's going to come around the next turn? Or are you hyper focused on just what you're doing, or how do you manage all this uncertainty?
CJ, why don't you start again, since you're the old guy in the bunch?
I got you. No, it's just you can't really focus on that. Like, we just focus on the day, and the day, that's practice. We got camp right now, and that's all we worry about, just getting better each day. And whenever the time comes, they tell us that we could put the ball down, play against somebody else, that means we're gonna be ready. And if you come in with a mindset that you don't know if we're gonna play, you're not gonna get the best out of practice. So we have to act like we have a game coming up, and no matter when it is, that we're gonna be ready.
Alim, you want to answer that one?
yeah. Kind of like how I touched on earlier, just keeping that laser focus. Times are crazy right now. They're a lot different than what it is usually, but we just take it by the day, like take each practice by the day, each meeting by the day. And whatever happens. Obviously, we can't control much, but we can just control the controllables and do what we have to do. So take it each day at a time. Just keep the laser focus. We see all that stuff. It's kind of hard not to see it, but we just take it day by day. We want to play football. We want to be safe as well, but we want to play football. So.
And Zonovan, you want to answer it?
Yeah, kind of like what Alim and CJ said. We just all have to be prepared just in case they say we can't put the ball down. Ultimately nobody really knows if we'll be able to have a season or not. But whenever they announced when we could play and if it will be official or not, we just have to be ready to go out there and play.
All right, and we're going to wrap up pretty quick. Vashti, you have something?
I do. I'm sorry. I'm having some issues with my camera. But just a quick question for the guys. I know you played with visors on your helmets yesterday. Can you talk about how that was? Did you have any issues breathing? And then also, what type of changes have been made around the facility in order to foster a safer environment?
Who wants to take that one? CJ, you want to start again?
Yeah, I'll start. I think it's definitely a little tougher to breathe in with the visor, but it's just something that we have to do if we want to play really. So you can't really think about it. You just got to keep pushing forward. And then around the facility, they just make sure that we're not all clustered up in big groups. You know, in certain meet rooms, we gotta be spread out apart. So everybody spread around the facility. When it comes to meet rooms, we're not in our normal meet rooms anymore. We always have to wear a mask on anytime in the building. That's pretty much it.
Alim, you want to kind of talk about what the differences are out at practice in terms of the distancing and like how y'all are doing post practice in the indoor and that you want to address that?
Yeah, so we never really have. So they kind of split it up offense, defense. We never really cross paths with the offense when we're doing anything, to be honest, whether we're going to the weight room or just going to a meeting or something. But post practice wise, we have to drop our stuff off in the indoor so to get sprayed down and sanitized. Take our jerseys off, helmets, and put it in a chair. And it gets sprayed and sanitized, and we go inside, and then we'll hit the cold tubs and whatnot. And the offense has to wait. They won't allow the offense in the building or with us, or so we don't collide and mix groups and whatnot. So we'd have a lot of people in the same area. Everywhere you go, like she just said, everywhere you go, you have to have a mask on. That's heavily enforced, all outside and in the building. A lot of changes have been made. We don't meet in our regular meeting rooms. Half the time, we don't even see guys on the other side of the wall sometimes, just so we don't collide. And it's actually a good thing, and it's been productive so far. So there's been quite a few changes made, but right now it's been very productive. So.
And then Zonovan, you want to wrap up and kind of talk about what the difference has been even in how y'all are doing meals and things like that?
Yeah, with like meals, the way our cafeteria is set up, they had like players lounge and then the cafeteria is right there. They kind of section it off by like your roommates who you staying with, trying to keep people from crossing paths and cross-contaminating. So that has been pretty much an adjustment for us, but I think it'll be beneficial in the long run, especially with the whole COVID situation and having a season. Like we need to make sure that we keep it that zero players test positive.
All right, guys, I'm going to let these guys go take a quick nap, and I appreciate everybody.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate it.